Hello. I'm going to talk to you today about my visit to Canada and the new teaching that I'm going to be presenting there. But first I wanted to preface this video by pointing out that this is probably the biggest pipe I own. And I mention this, and I'm smoking it because I've heard from some people that for certain people it's a turn-off to hear a spiritual teacher smoking a pipe. And I wanted to make clear that if a pipe, small or big, is a barrier to you hearing truth, then this is really not going to be for you. So now that the people that have some kind of a pipe issue have hopefully moved on, I wanted to announce that I'm going to be in Canada from the middle of August until the middle of September. I'm going to be visiting in Toronto, and I'm going to be staying in Edmonton, and I'm going to be doing, while I'm there, a number of meetings and talks and offering initiation, but I'm also going to be doing workshops in both of those cities where I'm going to be presenting a new teaching which is called the Fourfold Temple Path. And this teaching is an attempt to create a synthesis between the Eastern and Western practices, and to put it together in a way that isn't just a hodgepodge or a mix-up of stuff. It isn't Eastern stuff that's been kind of superimposed on Western culture, or Western stuff that's been mangled into Eastern philosophy, and it's not a cut and paste, but rather taking the essential fundamental elements of practice and putting that into one set of exercises, of spiritual exercises, that almost anyone will be able to do, and that is meant to take the consciousness of the teaching that was being presented by the Buddha and recreate it from scratch and in a new way in the context of our modern world and our Western world. So it's not Buddhism. It's not a type of Buddhism. It's not a school of Buddhism. It's a school of Buddhas, for sure, but not a school of Buddhism. And its purpose will be for people to establish a solid framework, a solid foundation for their spiritual practice. The essence of this solid foundation is what I call basic sanity, which is not an original term of mine. It's been used elsewhere too. And the way I interpret this is sanity as in, from the Latin sanity, which is wholeness. It is complete. Something that is sane is something that is unbroken. And this wholeness has to be achieved. It's not talking about mental sanity, but about the sanity of the balance of the four elements: the mind, the body, the emotion, and your energy. So when you can have a wholeness in each of these, then you establish and create the structure of your inner temple. You are building your inner temple. So in these workshops, which are going to be 2-day workshops, you will receive, first of all, some explanation about this practice and this idea of basic sanity. And then you will receive an empowerment, which will be a transmission of energy that is for the purpose of opening one up to this particular practice. It's not an initiation in general. You don't have to be an initiate to receive this empowerment. It's something that is exclusively to permit one to work more effectively in this practice. And then there will be a series of different practices connected to these 4 different elements, these 4 different levels of reality, that anyone who's been watching my tarot videos will have the gist of it. That you are talking about the earth element as the material body in this case, and it will have to do with how to cultivate your energy, what you could call your chi, and practicing how to develop it in a healthy and whole way. And practices are physical practices that prepare the body to better receive and transmit energy. Then you will be doing practice in the mind, which will mainly have to do with developing the connection between the mind and the body in a way that in our society so many people have disconnected between the mind and the body. And so this is about reprogramming the mind to accept the wisdom of one's body, to be able to listen to the body again, and also to be able to develop an intuitive, instinctual awareness, which is different from just instinct, right? An intuitive, instinctual awareness is a conscious sense of what to do and how to choose things that is not just thinking things through logically, but is and also not just an animal instinct. It's based on one's deeper consciousness. So it's about turning the mind off of this kind of analytical reasoning process and into the process of being able to have a sense of consciousness of how to make choices. So there's a bit of decision-making teaching in there too. And there is a teaching at this level which is about altering one's perceptions based on the principles, the twin principles of Namaste and Samasati. Then the training in the water element, the emotional element, has to do with the practice, will be the practice of opening up the heart and what I call full body devotion, the practice of devotional surrender, including the Buddhist Gachamis, and the practice of devotion as a formal practice of devotion. And then the culmination of the Fourfold Temple is the fire training, which has to do with the energy. It's what you could call the dragon path, and it consists of a technique of meditation and mudras that will allow you to become a receiver and a transmitter of awareness, of what you could call divine energy, or you could call it bodhicitta, or you could call it consciousness. So it's going to be a practice where the main goal of the Fourfold Temple is first so that you can construct your inner temple, and then so that from this inner temple you can bring out this awareness to everybody around you. I hope that anybody who is in or near these cities, Toronto or Edmonton, at that time will consider looking into participating in this workshop. I think that it will be a very fruitful thing for creating a daily discipline for yourself that you can practice very easily. All of these practices are going to be very simple practices that you can do in your everyday life, and that will allow you to integrate it to your daily living instead of having your spirituality be something that you keep at a separate level from the rest of your life. That, if nothing else, is the central goal of the kind of spirituality that I want to teach. It is a spirituality that is sane, that is holistic. So I might be talking a bit more about the Fourfold Temple between now and then in other videos. And I welcome anyone to ask any questions about this practice, either publicly or to contact me privately. I hope that I will see you there.